What is up, everybody, and welcome to a wonderful podcast I like to call the Regret Podcast. Why do we call it that? Well, you probably watched the previous episode, and you now know why we regret what we talk about. Anyway, with me today are...
Asada.
We got Ruffles, and we got...
Hello, it's Ariel.
We got Ariel. So this podcast is going to be a little bit different. We came up with a cool idea that since Ariel and I are artists, and we kind of were mainly illustrators and such.
And
we
I'm
thought,
clearly not.
And clearly Ruffles has no talent other than what he's about to do right now, which is ask us about ours. No, so anyway, we thought it'd be cool if Ruffles can kind of, I guess, interview us.
A little behind the artist.
A little behind the artist. Danny, put up a behind the artist, making him do mad words. But yeah, so that's really good. I like that idea.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, so Johnny's gonna kind of be the moderator of this podcast, and we're just gonna answer questions.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
All right. The most generic question ever to ask someone who's an artist.
Yep.
What got you guys into art?
Do you guys do tattoos?
Have you ever thought about being a tattoo artist?
Can I have a free commission?
Can you draw me?
All right.
All right. So
question number one: what got you into art?
Okay. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You can start.
All right. I know this is like a cliche answer to a cliche question, but I've literally been drawing since I was born. Like, legitimate. I even showed you my first drawing, which is literally
I can contest.
An infant. Yeah, my family has always been artistic. They've just never done it for a living. Mm-hmm. So, to me, I guess I'm just like finally the one to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, my family's always been artistic, so they were always pushing me to keep it up. And now they regret making me do it.
I mean, it's always good to have, people backing your stuff.
Oh, of course. No, I'm blessed in that.
Yeah.
In that aspect, especially because they kind of understand it. Because again, there are a couple of them.
I mean, we're upstairs recording this right now.
Exactly.
In your house.
Exactly. So it's like they have that spatial awareness that there is an artist present, and they're for the most part patient with me. But yeah, so I started when I was a kid, and I always knew it was what I was gonna do. And there was never a time where I ever. Sure, maybe there were some times where I was like, I'm going to be an accountant, but never, like, longer than 2 months or, I always come back to it, but yeah.
Ariel?
With me, I didn't start so early. In high school, actually, it kind of just gradually just became a thing for me. I wasn't self-aware of it, though, until college. That's when I wanted to actually take it seriously. Like, I wanted to give it more of a chance. I wanted to explore more into it. Yeah. But a few times where I think it was gonna... I thought it was major for me was... the few times when I was, like, a fucking little baby. And my mom would take me to museums and shit.
Yeah.
So that was something I resonate with, like, now. Because I still love visiting museums and seeing different people's artwork and all that.
Yeah.
And then even when we were doing the comic for SVA, so when Joe and I were 15, he was in the pre-college courses for SVA, and he had to do a comic every week.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so he invited me over one day. He was like, just help me ink this, and I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Literally, I know. And this is like right before he started taking it a little bit more seriously. So me asking him was even... kind of a little weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, you did draw, though. Like, just not as...
Yeah, I didn't think much of it. I just drew.
Yeah.
And for those of you who didn't know, we all went to the same high school, and I have hung out with these faggots a lot.
Yes,
Sorry, F-word. Bleep that.
Don't bleep it. Let those faggots know. No, but yeah.
But I have seen Ariel, his journey to drawing.
Yeah. I'll say it was a very...
And your journey has been...
exquisite one.
Very, very well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your art is amazing now, and I've seen your stuff in high school, and it was pretty shit.
Yeah.
As everyone is.
Hell,
everyone's stuff is shit.
My stuff is still shit. My stuff is still a work in progress.
That's what it is. We'll never... What I think the biggest payoff as an artist is looking back and seeing that you did, in fact, get better. I don't think you'll ever be okay with where you are now. Like, you'll be okay with it. You'll always want more. But you look back and you're always like, damn,
It's always amazing to
That
see
was a step.
that jump. Like
yeah,
the
I mean, me and you
difference
sat down right
Yeah.
up here, and we looked at my artwork for years.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I mean,
saw
you saw
your first
more art.
piece.
Yeah, you saw more art than I think anyone has ever seen.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see that little, the transition to your own stuff. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, it started off as you copying. Well, not copying, but
But like drawing from what I
Yeah,
see.
drawing from what you see.
So like
influence and
again,
stuff.
he knows my first drawing ever was Tommy from the Rugrats, and it was like I was like literally a couple months old or like 1 year old. It's just a circle. It's just a bald kid. But like my family knew it was Tommy, which was a cool thing.
That's dope.
But yeah, with you, I think it was even cooler because like Johnny said, I got to watch you do it, and you always had this fear of jumping.
I mean,
onto art
everyone
fully.
has self-doubts.
Of course, but like he had, well, I guess we could worry about that later, but there was a lot going on, and it was very fulfilling to me to see you like take it in so strongly. And it's such a huge part of you now that I feel like I can't even separate you from art. Like in my head, that's just a connection that's
And
gonna forever be there.
Speaking from what I've seen that Joe kind of inspired you.
Oh yeah, big time.
Because I've
My
seen
huge cock.
Yeah.
Joel always kind of inspired me, just because, well, Joe kind of like held my hand through most of like what I know now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with the basics even, he was. I'd ask him about anatomy, and I'd ask him about colors and perspective, and I'll never forget the one day that I came over, and then I asked you more about perspective and anatomy, like what you know and everything. So that added to it, I mean, and even now, Joe kind of just, he's always out there with this shit, and I'm just like, oh, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah, and
you're not afraid to do like, to try different shit with your work, like backgrounds and different types of perspective, and you're willing, and whatever choices you do make, you just stick with it, and you don't really give up on it. You kind of just keep pushing forward with it.
Yeah.
And even when you post like fucking Inktober, like I can't do that. I can't do Inktober. I can't do 365 days. Of
listen, it's
drawing.
cool. I only did Inktober once. I did do that 75 days thing, but that was, yeah, dude. And well, first off, thank you. Obviously, that means a lot. But like, same, dude. I think currently, growing up, I always kind of had that artist friend who I was like competing with. But it was always at like a kid level. It was never quite like I really saw a competition.
Yeah.
With Ariel though, and I always say this to him because it's a little bit tougher for us because our styles are so different. And I don't mean that like we can't do each other's style. Like I'm sure I could do a more realistic one, and he's literally done. Like we've compromised our styles before, but I think our aesthetics are very different.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly drives me even more because what he's doing in his field, I want to match in mine. So it's kind of just a really, I think, healthy competition. And yeah, dude, I mean, like, so same.
How do you feel about other artists when it comes to the concept of competition? Because I kind of stopped thinking of it as competition with
Which
other
is good.
artists,
Yeah.
because art isn't really supposed to be a competitive field at all.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's just it is that because of industries and studios and shit.
Yeah.
Social
they
media.
establish social media. They established that. I think not that they established that, but I think in artists' heads, it's not
It just
really
becomes that.
clarified. Yeah, it's like that for people in the field. But I like to draw people. I like to draw artists. I like to draw. I mean, I like working with other artists and making sure people know what artist is doing what.
Yeah.
I mean, even sharing shit on the internet, if people don't credit, I'm like, yo, credit the fucking
Yeah,
artist,
there's a little bit of that.
dumbass.
Yeah, especially because we're artists, we feel
Yeah.
it a little more.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more inclined to do so.
Because you're like, ooh, if that was my stuff, Yeah, with me, I think I got a lot better when I stopped competing because, as you said, I feel like it's literally not a competition. And I think a big thing with that is that I could look at someone else's numbers on Instagram and I could look at what they're doing and I could get extremely jealous. But also, I have to remember at the end of the day that
They were in that position in the beginning.
yeah, exactly. But even more so, even something that like came to me when I started getting commissioned heavily, like to the point where I was like shit, I can do this for a living.
Yeah.
It scared me because I didn't know that could have been a thing. But what that was, it wasn't me suddenly becoming an artist. It was just I found my niche, and that's what art is. Art is like discovering the people who find your work like aesthetic, like it matches their aesthetic. They want to see you on their timeline. And that's what made my Instagram blow up. Like I kind of haven't been on Instagram recently, but what made it blow up was just the fact that like I finally hit my space of the internet. And if I continue to go with that, it'll just keep growing. There's enough people for you to be a big artist, and your other favorite artist can be a big artist.
That's a perfect mindset to.
Yeah, and it's very healthy, and that's why I feel so inclined to call someone like Ariel a rival, because like to me, our fans are never going to cross.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of his work. He's a fan of mine, and I think that's the closest to blending our, like, I guess followers. That's kind of it. Like I can look at his work and say, Jesus Christ, that's amazing. But I don't draw that work. So the people who are on my channel, or on my profile, they're looking at that stuff. People on his profile looking at that stuff.
and that's amazing. Like also coming back to the whole, progression is like you guys found your own style.
100%.
Yeah.
Which is, I wouldn't say rare. There's artists out there, that are obviously copies of other artists.
Yeah.
But it's good that you guys have your own style.
Yeah.
What inspires your style?
That's actually the next question. Who are
Oh, yeah.
your brightest influences?
Oh,
and
that's perfect.
What's your inspirations?
Oh, okay.
So I think with me, my biggest inspirations really show in my work. And I think the first time I ever got proud of my work was my first master study I did. It was back in 2015. And Ariel knows this because we hung out almost like every day that summer.
Yeah.
That was like our, like, to me, I don't know how it affected you, but to me that was the biggest summer of my life in terms of my artistic evolution. Like me and you were at Francis's house working on shit.
Yeah.
And so I used to master study Ken Sugimori, who is the artist for Pokemon.
Yep.
His current stuff. I actually even went back to his older stuff, which is why I started watercoloring at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and that was actually a fantastic journey. But I would say Ken Sugimori, and really it's just kind of... I love the idea of mixing a Western and an Eastern art style.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, so do I.
yeah, and that's why it's so funny because me and him do it in such different ways. I take more of a Western cartoon approach, and I add the Eastern influence through, whether it's like certain stylistic choices or just in general like if you've seen my webcomic, which I think both of you have.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's I know you have, and I remember we talked about it a couple times.
That artwork is amazing.
Chapter 9's coming, guys. I promise. Joker's just been sucking me dry. But yeah, so with that, like the Eastern style, like that's why I made it that they're kids and they have this like super anime thing.
Yeah, I think my thing is the opposite.
You're the exact opposite.
Yeah,
You're
where
like,
it's like where
Western
I,
with Eastern.
he's
Eastern, not Western.
Eastern with like
Sorry.
well, but the thing that I like about him too is he has like classical training. Like he has like if you look at his work, there's almost I would say like you can kind of feel like Renaissance influence almost. Like you take like real. I don't know. You study again.
Yeah,
your Western study is more traditional.
Yeah, because I think one more thing that added to that was my love for art history.
Yeah.
In general, so because when I was in school, I had one art history class, and that actually jump started me into loving art more to take it seriously. So I was like just in love with it, and then it made me remember my times in museums.
Yeah.
Before going to school, and then going to museums for classwork and all of that. So, and then what that class did for me was bring that up for me, and then I'll always like look through certain artists like Degas, fucking Dali, Picasso, even though his work is just gross to
Just
everyone.
really-
His work is so gross.
It's bad, but you can
love
see
it.
you can see that he had like artistic integrity.
Yeah,
he knew
yeah.
what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'll always visit that. And I try to show it in my work sometimes, but
Yeah.
as of right now, I'm doing a bit of a style shift. So,
Which, first off, I mean, you guys are probably not going to see it by the time this goes out, but it's coming along great. Like, it's looking fantastic. And I think it's just cooler because it's still going the way, like, you're still keeping that influence on both sides.
yeah.
You're just more stylizing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's, again, like, for any artist, real quick, while we're on style, because this is something that I think messed with us a lot, is trying to figure out what your style isn't as easy as just, like, just keep drawing. What you need to do is you need to master study, which I guess I should probably explain because some people won't understand that term. But what master studying is you pick an artist, you look at their work, you literally follow their journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost a way of, like, learn from those before you. And that's what I did with Ken Sugimori that I mentioned before. But yeah, so with something like what happened with Ariel, or what's happening with Ariel, or what even happens with me a lot is we'll find artists that we like and we pick and choose what we like from each one. And eventually it builds out your own style.
Yeah. I think a lot of Instagram artists are kind of what inspires me a lot. Like, it's been inspiring me for maybe the past year and a half,
Legitimately saying,
or a couple of years. You'll find artists like James Jean art. You'll find Kushnav.
Yeah, of course.
You'll find just so many amazing artists. Heikala is amazing. Who else? Man, you could just keep going on. There's a whole list. Literally. Pretty much everyone I follow is
just go on our Instagrams and you'll see. I mean, these guys, you probably have seen their work, honestly.
Yeah, and whenever I look at their work, I'll be like, oh, look at their line art here. Look at their colors. Look at their palette. And then, or look at their anatomy even. And then you see how differently they shape their work. And then subconsciously or consciously, I try to grab that. Like, I kind of just think of it.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just save it in my fucking head, and then I open it when I'm drawing, and then,
exactly.
and then I'll be like, oh, this is a good fucking reference, but I don't open their pictures or anything.
You just made that mental note.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the perfect way to say it. Like, truly, like, that's what I do with colors.
Colors, yeah, that's what I need to start doing.
Because I love colors more than anything, which is funny because, I mean, you both knew me in high school. I never colored shit. It was always, like, pencil drawings in my notebooks. Colors are my favorite things because I think it's the first initial, like, thing people will notice is the aesthetic of it. And it was actually a problem in my webcomic because the comments would be like, oh, the colors are really good. And I was getting a little self-conscious because I was like, do they like the story or the characters or is it just the colors? But I think it's just something that pops out so much more to people that they're like, it's almost like when you see a movie and you're like, you leave and you're like, wow, the soundtrack was really good.
And I think that's one reason why I'm jealous of you, even, because you know how to use colors. Like, you have your way of
it was a complete accident that I got there.
And then I was like, fuck, why can't I fucking do that? I try to, I'm still working with that, but I think as of late, I have more in mind of what I expect from myself when it comes to my interest in colors.
And that's what's important.
Yeah,
the way you just worded that is the best thing I could have possibly heard from you.
Because, you'll see a lot of what's out there, and then you'll like certain artists or people's coloring and all that. But I think once you have more of an idea of what you like, that's what you should
settle
be working
on that.
with.
Yeah.
And then that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to settle on a color scheme that I like.
And you'll definitely get there.
Right now, I'm really loving primary colors, just bold, fucking saturated.
So that's even the exact opposite, bro. That's how different we are. I'm more of like a pastel guy, and he's
just like primaries, secondaries, tertiaries. Like that's the shit I want to. That's the shit I want to fucking utilize.
That's fire.
Because that's not. That's something I see a little bit more nowadays. But in terms of fashion, I see people dressing up more and like they'll have a bright red fucking bag, or they'll have color block sweaters and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see that in fashion, and then I'm just like, oh, okay, urban streetwear and shit. Like people fuck with that. Yeah, and I
100%.
And I love it too. So I'm just like, oh, okay, that's something I could use as like backgrounds for like maybe a comic, maybe a short dumb comic.
Yeah.
So that's something I need to experiment with, and I will be soon.
I can't wait, legit.
All right, so next question. Obviously, this journey hasn't been easiest, and obviously it never will be, and even in the future, it's never going to be that easy. So, Next question is, have you guys ever thought about quitting art?
Yeah.
I just love how
I know it's a yes or no question, but I know.
I mean, we can elaborate a little bit. I think we both have kind of like interesting answers.
I have a lot of shortcoming with it. I think it's usually either my parents will kind of go against me on it, or I guess the reality of my situation, financially speaking.
Yep.
It's not very a feasible thing, and I think that's something every artist encounters. But in terms of making me give up, I think those are a couple of reasons that I guess made me think of it. But I've always been just adamant about it, even in the shittiest situations possible. Like right now, I'm definitely not in the best spot at all, but I'm making a portfolio literally as we're doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm not, honestly, I don't care much anymore. Like
Yeah.
I just want to just do what I can. And I know my end result will be, the best thing, because I want to work with people in my community. I want to make myself happy,
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm striving for. And I know that there's a fucking ton of artists out there that, they're going through the same shit. And, I'm like one in the million of like the tons of artists that want to be fucking famous. And it doesn't make sense to go through with it, but, it's what I feel, and it sounds kind of corny, but that's what I have to go with, because anything else I do, any jobs that I do, I've worked in marketing, and I've worked in fucking retail. It's just, anywhere else is just not fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me happy, and this is like the one thing where I could just sit down and I could be like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, that line. I like that.
And it's also always good to have be your own source of motivation.
Yeah, definitely. Because even though you have other people around you, you can't depend on everyone all the time.
At the end of the day, you wake up alone.
Yeah.
Like you're in your own mind.
Unless you have a fiance like Ruffles.
Yeah. Oops. I thought you said boobs at first. I was like, that would have been really off. No, yeah, I think Ariel nailed it, and I think any artist at our point has probably been through that. Recently, though, short answer, yes, I've thought about quitting multiple times. I mean, even in the past 3 years, I gave up. I was going to go to business school. When I graduated college, I gave up. That's why I made Joker, because it wasn't really art. It was just more so another way. I know I'm going to be big. That much I know. I know that sounds really like
I said, it's good to be confident.
Yeah, I mean, there's a confidence. It's not because I think the world owes it to me. I just think that I can't strive anywhere else. I need to make people happy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I owe it to myself, like you said, to get up and to get it done. But what I will say is quitting art, what finally sealed that nail in the coffin. And again, for anybody listening who's young, I'm talking not even too young, 14, and you want to do art. The biggest thing for me was this year, as I mentioned, I don't know if it was this podcast or the previous one. I had a job that I haven't had a job in a couple of years. I've been working since I was 14. I got a job at really young, and I finally quit when I was in college. Then I took a break, but then again this year I got a job, and it was a job that asked a lot of me and paid really nothing. It really wasn't worth any of it. But I took it because I had to, because I owed it to my family, and I needed to do it. And it was possibly the worst 4 years of my 4 years. Wow, you imagine? I would have killed myself. Christ. It was the worst 4 months of my life. I completely cut off from people. It was literally just wake up, do what I had to do, go to sleep. None of my hobbies worked.
And I could relate with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's even why bringing you on board with this was such a big thing for me as well, because we had that talk in this very room. We talked about it, and I think you understand that, and what a lot of people have to understand, just like what Ariel said, is there are certain things in this life that you need to understand. If it doesn't make you happy, don't do it.
Yeah.
I get it. Look, I literally, I understand that people have situations that they're in that they cannot do it, but I promise you can. Ariel even just said, this time right now isn't the best for him.
Yeah.
And he's here, literally, this wasn't a joke, he's on his Mac right now, working on a fucking portfolio. He wasn't even going to be in this. I think that what you need to do, and what I need to do even now, is just remember that if this is the only thing that makes you happy, then that's the only thing worth putting time into.
Yeah, and just like Ariel, I know we all had the shitty jobs, and you know, we all had that moment where you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do what we want.
Exactly.
I'm having that right now,
and I mean, we're literally all on that path right now.
Yeah.
And it feels good to also have people that are going through that same thing. And plus, with you, I feel especially, a fire under my ass with you and Frank, because it's like, oh, I definitely need to deliver.
For those who didn't know, I was the one who kind of pushed Joe to get back on this.
This previous comeback, you could honestly thank Ruffles for. And I think that's why, like, a lot of people were asking, like, where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah, I came out of nowhere.
First off, he's been in my life for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Next year, it will be 10 years that I've known you.
And that's crazy.
9th grade.
Yeah.
Shit, I've known you for fucking
I
12.
know, bro.
No, 12. No.
No,
yeah,
it's been longer.
Fuck, I don't even know, dude.
12.
It's long.
No, is it 12?
I think it might exactly be 12.
Yeah,
2007.
I think so, yeah.
But I've honestly, knowing you, I've seen huge potential in your art.
Yeah, I know. You've pushed me.
I remember in high school, I used to be like, draw this.
Yeah.
And even when I wanted to start a shitty band, I was like, yo,
Yeah,
can you
you
draw the
went to
album
me.
artwork?
Yeah.
And I knew that something big was going to happen. And just seeing you in those stumps and, quitting Joker for a little bit.
Yeah, multiple times. You always hit me up.
And I'm like, dude, like, you have to keep doing this because I see potential in this channel.
Yeah, legitimately, John. Woof. I got to do the Ruffles thing again. Fuck. But anyway, legitimately, Ruffles has been there since. I mean, Jesus. Like he said, I used to draw fucking like Dante in our math class or some
fucking
shit.
Spanish class.
And Spanish class. Spanish class was a fun one too.
Was lit, yeah.
But yeah, so that there was a lot of, and I think again back to what I was saying is like if you could find the people that bring that out in you, that's the people you need to surround yourself with, and it is easy to find them because everyone does want that end goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess to sum up, yeah, I did think about giving up art. I don't think that means it's not a passion. I think it just means sometimes the world folds you, and sometimes you just let it.
It's the universe trying to challenge you.
Exactly. And yet we're all here and we're all testing it, and there's going to be payoff if we keep doing it. Mm-hmm. That's what life taught me. But yeah.
So, next question. What is a favorite art piece that you have done?
Oh shit. That's a hard.
I gotta open
question.
up the.
Yeah.
Gotta open up the IG. This is
are there like pieces that have like stand out for you?
Yeah. Like
you guys have
okay,
done?
how about like during the process of you doing it, made it like really enjoyable, and if it's not the same one as your favorite piece,
then we
which
could
one-
just
we can differentiate that.
Okay, so I think. Do you have yours ready? Because I think I have mine, but
I think it has to be kind of recent with my Killick drawing because
that drawing.
Because I spent a couple of times redrawing it, but then I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm just gonna do the best I can on it, and then I just inked it, and then I don't know. It reminded me of how much like I love using fine liners and just hatching and all that.
Yeah.
So the process of that was fun, and the end result was pretty good too. I mean, from
More than pretty good.
in my opinion, it came out pretty like okay, it came out good.
It's a gorgeous
you were proud
piece.
of it.
It's a gorgeous piece. And I mean, like, I'm saying that from understanding that there are artists that are out there that have achieved more than you. I think your piece stands up on its own, like, really hard. That's a very good piece.
And as for
Thank
you?
you.
For me, I'm on my Instagram right now. I only have, like, 14 posts. But I would say I could show you guys. I don't think this is my best piece at all. Not even close. But this piece, this Kenma piece that I did on my Instagram, was the first time I ever did a background.
Yeah.
Like,
I
legitimately?
remember you walking us through that.
Yeah. And I think that meant a lot to me. It gave me like this first shift that I needed because as both of you could probably attest to, I don't like backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not really a willingness to like not want to learn it. It's just more so like I don't know how to fit it with my style a lot of the times. But what that piece allowed me to do was kind of figure that out. I think my favorite, this is a cop out, but I think my favorite pieces, gotta say it like that, have been my webcomic.
But real quick, oh really?
100%.
Yeah.
It's very stylistic.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
flashy.
It's very simple.
Yeah,
it's very flashy. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, there's some panels there that like I definitely just, you know, and it's also, it was hard because I had to learn how Webtoon worked. But to me, that was the biggest, literally the biggest lump I had to, or bump in the road, I guess I could say, that I had to handle, because I had to do 8 chapters in a matter of
a fucking week.
A week, pretty much, yeah. And I poured my fucking heart into it, and I didn't rush. I told the story exactly how I want to. Again, obviously there's still more, but like I didn't compromise for that. There was never a panel that I was like, I want to do this, but I need it done by today, so I'm not going to do it. I did everything I wanted to do. And I think that meant so much to me. And even though I've drawn better, I think it perfectly exemplifies every piece of me. There's like so much of legit of my soul in that webcomic.
Even with the Kenma piece, the background, the way you did it, I thought it was kind of inventive, because you utilized the tools themselves to just, you know, like fix the background to the way you wanted, like the way you wanted it to be. And with me, it's like, for backgrounds, I have to like sketch it all out, and it's just like it's a lot of, it's really time consuming for me, and I enjoy doing backgrounds, but the way you did it, you made it look so simple. I was like, all right,
and I think
all right, I get it.
I think that just goes to show you the different ways that we handle it.
Yeah,
is you're a lot more in depth. You're a lot more. I mean, you could take up to days to finish a piece, and like you can see where the time went. You know what I mean? Like you can look at something and be like,
oh, okay, no, I see.
Jesus, this dude hatched every fucking inch of what needed to be hatched. You put so much time into it, and that's your payoff. That like your payoff is the finished piece, looking like it took a team to make, and it was just you in this, you know. And I think that's why, like with your backgrounds, that is again the payoff is seeing it and being like, holy shit, this is
satisfying to touch too when I'm inking. It's just like, fuck, this feels nice.
Yeah,
you know, it just looks nice. I mean, to me at the end, I'm like satisfied with it too. So then I could just be like, all right.
And that's good. That's what
on,
it is. The satisfied.
Yeah.
As long as you're satisfied with it. But yeah.
On that subject of being satisfied at the end, when do you know it's complete?
When I'm fucking tired of it.
Yeah, honestly.
I think honestly when I'm done with it, there's just a moment where I'm like, it's borderline. I'm putting too much.
Sometimes I'll draw without like thinking of an end to it, and then the end kind of just quote end shows up in my head.
Happens, yeah.
And then and then I'll be like, okay, I'll finish it after I do so and so steps, or maybe I'll just feel it out, and then when I feel like it's finished, it's finished.
That's a really good fucking question.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
When I'm doing a piece, I never really go like, okay, well this is it.
You never think about the end.
Yeah, it's never so much of like, at this point I'm going to stop. Again, with the webcomic, it's different because, you have to know. There's a story involved. But with like an illustration, there have been so many pieces like this Dobby piece that I have on my Instagram as well. All I knew is that I wanted to draw this character. And it just kind of like kept going. Almost to the point where like I don't like it anymore. But like that kind of happens. There's just like these points where it's like you've kind of just exhausted yourself to the piece. You're like, okay, it stands on its own. But I don't think it's ever really a conscious decision, right? Yeah. Like it just kind of happens.
Yeah, it just shows up like midway, or maybe even towards like when you're kind of getting to the you'll be like, oh, okay, wait.
You're like, put the fucking pen down.
All right, so this question is directed to just Joe. So being that art is obviously your only source of income, how do you separate the work from the art?
Oh man, that's a good one, dude. All right, so it is true as you say. recently I have been finally able to like make a living off of art, I guess. To make enough money to where if I wanted to leave and do it, I can do commissions and it would pay off. I think a big thing that happened with that was it happened very fast, and it happened very hard. When I first opened up my commissions, I posted some pieces on Reddit, they blew up, and then suddenly I saw how much potential.
Shout out to the Monster Hunter Reddit, huh?
Yeah, shout out to the Monster Hunter Reddit. You guys made me semi-famous on Reddit. Yeah, so my piece went trending and like I had a manager at the time, so shout out to Noah. Legitimately, that's the bro, that's my brother. And he was just like, yo, put this piece on. I promise you're going to be making a lot of money. And I was like, all right, I did it. Commissions started coming, and there was no art for fun. For a long time, it was nonstop. Oh, Pokemon commission, D&D commission, Monster Hunter commission. It was like, it was so much that it kind of made me not want to do art because it was very scary. And I think something that people don't talk about often is how scary commissions can be. You're talking to people, new people, nonstop. And, a lot of people think I'm an extrovert, and I kind of am. Like, I can have those moments, but there's a lot of times where, like, I want to be alone. So constantly getting these emails of people asking my prices or finding me through my website, like, that's bizarre. Like, how are you finding me through there? It was just this very scary thing. And for a long time, I didn't draw for fun. Now, however, I've taken a break from commissions. Obviously, as far as money goes, I took a big hit because I took a break from commissions. But I'm just starting to get back into it. I'm catching up on them. And the best way I can say to do it is literally set a day away, like, a day where you'll do commissions and have every other day you're doing whatever. So, like, I have 2 days in the week where I do commissions. Those 2 days are work. And I know that. And I have to wake up knowing that. When I put my, pen to my tablet, that's what's happening. I'm working on someone else's work. And it separates it for me so that when I work on my webcomic, I know that's for me. It's fun. It's what I want to do. And when I'm working on someone else's piece, I don't feel jaded. I don't feel angry at the person for taking away my time because it's like a job. So yeah, I guess what I would say is as long as you treat it like a job, you give it the time. Same thing with Joker. This isn't fun all the time. Yeah. Sitting down watching a fucking anime I don't want to watch. But it's a blessing that people care. Yeah. And that's why I do it. That's
whether
why
it's 2-3 people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It matters.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of what it is as long as you set away some time, you can still have it as a job and a hobby. It never really blends. But I think that's kind of my answer with that one.
All right, so this one's just for Ariel. Before you wanted to be an artist, what did you want to do?
I didn't think of that because I had it kind of laid out for me. Yeah. I wasn't self-aware at all. So my parents wanted me to be somewhere in business. They kind of established that I should be a real estate agent. So I went to college for my associates for business management, and I didn't really know what I wanted. I kind of just went in, not thinking of anything, just being just a dumbass. Yeah. So I think during art history, that's when I kind of just I started to draw more, and then I actually had a friend that made fun of me all the fucking time for drawing just because of the fact that everything I drew was trash. So, and this kid came from he came from a high school of design, so he kind of he went in there knowing pretty much like everything in the fucking class. He knew how to draw. He had a sketchbook full of just awesome fucking drawings, and then I just drew just to fucking do it, but I never gave it the thought or the time of day to take it seriously. But being in that environment with other artists and then people that are actually trying to get into it, and I was like, oh shit, that made me want to do it. So yeah. So then that kind of just brought up the option for me to try illustration, so I went through with it, and I enjoyed it. I realized that I did fucking love it, so I kind of just stuck with it. I didn't really give it much of a second thought, because it just felt natural after a while, and then I started making more friends through it. So then I was like, oh, okay, cool, dope. This is, it's fun. No, it was just a fun time. So I figured I might as well just keep pursuing it, and as I'm still pursuing it, it's still, it opens up a lot of conversation, and it's always just fun to do. Even during commissions sometimes they'll suck, but I think I still enjoy those too, because it's just you never know what you're gonna get, and
it's a
challenge. I think it's a whole challenge.
Like a game almost.
That's what I think of it as.
Yeah.
Whenever we draw, and it's just, or no, I'll think of like a random topic to fucking draw, and then I'll be like, it'll be like those types of situations.
Yeah.
Except this time with commissions, it's definitely more. You have to be more professional with it.
It's a little bit more,
Yeah.
like you said, professional. So you're kind of worried sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, it is
anxious about it, about your end result, if they're gonna like it, because it's not just for you, it's for them, and even with money, involved, it's just like, I mean, money is there, but you gotta we gotta.
Of course,
reach
you need
for
it.
You need it, but it's just like you want to make sure that they're satisfied,
exactly,
and yourself as well, because that's what'll make the final product, the best as it could be.
I agree with you on that. I think it's funny that you said, because it's important that you are satisfied with the commission.
Yeah.
I think you can't just be like, oh, here's what you asked for, now give me the money.
Yeah, like my last commission, it was for the Gorilla thing,
which was amazing.
The Gorilla album cover that I did, and it was the client, which was the same guy that cut my ass. He wanted just a gorilla in a big suit, right? And I didn't know how to fucking do that. The first one I did was just we didn't like it. He didn't outright say it, but I didn't enjoy it. So then I kind of just scrapped it, and then I came up with that one after. So, and then we both enjoyed that one, and that was it. That was the one.
That piece is legitimately so fucking good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was like one of the times where I was like happy with the colors, because it was kind of monochromatic. I think it is monochromatic.
Yeah, because it's all
it's
reds.
just like all and reds,
which was so good though.
Thank you. But yeah, so that was I don't know. It was just good.
Yeah, basically he was just always business.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when we were in high school, you would always talk about real estate.
Yeah.
You would read books on it. Like you were almost like prepped to just straight up be a real estate agent.
Yeah. And then took a different turn.
Completely U-turn, bro.
Yeah.
So, as an artist, you've all experienced slumps, where you don't know where a piece is going, or even your overall art career.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for artists that get into an art slump?
As in like art blocks, or
just not knowing what to do.
So art blots, but also like career blots. Almost, like, where you're like, I don't know if I want to be an artist anymore. Just fucking give up. No, I'm playing. Just save yourself the trouble. No, definitely not. I mean, that stuff is bound to happen. I'm gonna just give some quick advice that I think I really wish I knew this. People say when you're doing what you love, you don't work a day in your life. That's bullshit. Even if you love what you're working on, it's still fucking work. Okay?
Yeah.
I love the videos I put out. I love the webcomic I put out. I love the pieces I do. I fucking hate working on them. It takes away the time from being with my friends, my family, all this stuff. But what really shines through is when you're complete with it, if you could look back at it and be like, fuck, like, this is me. Like, I did this. That's what it is. So if you're having an art block, just draw. I know everyone says that. But you really just need to draw. And maybe don't draw what you usually draw. Draw something else. If you're so used to drawing cartoons, draw realistically, or vice versa. Because a lot of the times the reason why you're feeling so down is that you're not challenged enough, or you're not actually doing what you want to do. As I mentioned before, like, I hated coloring. You know, coloring was the bane of my existence, and now it's almost without a doubt, it's my favorite part of drawing is figuring out a palette that's, like, interesting. And the reason why that happened was, you know, I took a step back and I realized that maybe that's something I should give more time to, and it made me fall in love with that process more. So
yeah, trying to find a reason to draw, maybe even just one subject or something, or like just drawing just to draw. That's something that'll help you get out of an art block. But career wise, if you're like doing it, you know, to establish it as your source of income or something you want to do for the rest of your life, you know, don't ever like leave it to the side for too long, or don't let anyone's advice to move onto a different field like eat at you, because then it'll kind of just like fester, and then you'll end up, you know, just being more confused than how you already are, because art can be kind of confusing. There's so many avenues, there's so many different like fields and jobs to do.
And it does pay off, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it doesn't pay off. Art pays off. It pays off probably the best, and that's why everyone wants to do it. Yeah. The way I see it is like, life is just going to test you. Like, that's with anything. But with art, it's even harder to kind of gauge that, because the way I look at it is, and a lot of the times I gave up on art, what I did was I would look at the people around me who all have jobs and all have like relationships, or they're all doing things that like a normal person our age would do, and I look at myself and I'm like, oh, I run a fucking YouTube channel and I do art. Like, you know, when family asks me what do I do and I'm just like, I draw, it doesn't feel good. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel good sometimes. And that doesn't mean I don't have the passion for it. It just means that I'm not confident enough a lot of the times to state that. But I think what being an artist is being confident in those choices. So if you're an artist and you want to be an artist, fuck it. Like, you want to be an artist, that's it. Like, and don't say that. You're always an artist. Like, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but I hate people that say, I want to be an artist. You know what I mean? If you're drawing, regardless at like what point you're at,
you're an artist.
You're an artist. Like, that's the fucking point. You don't take an application and get a job and then become an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never worked in the industry, but I'm able to make enough money to sustain myself off of just me.
How do you feel about people saying, "Oh, I wish I can draw"? Like, in a regular conversation, in a regular conversation with like just, you know, anyone like outside.
I used to be passionately like adamant that I'd get angry about it, where I'd be like, "You can." I kind of forgive them now.
Yeah.
Just because like it's like I get it. You know, you look at it and you're like, I wish I can do that. For us, it's like, we didn't just wish for it.
Yeah.
I mean, Ariel started in high school, you know, even though his love for it was always prevalent. He started in high school, and where he is now is like a testament to what just work does. Mm-hmm. And Johnny, I mean, you've seen my entire career.
Johnny.
And Ruffles, you've seen my entire career. You gotta
I'm the only one that gets it right.
I know.
I'm barely here.
You've seen my entire career. Like, you've seen that. Like, it was never, like, good. You know, it's always, like, there's always just more you can do. So I think with that, it's just, you really can't, you just can't stop. The moment you stop is the moment, like, it will pass you by, and you won't be as good. So, I mean, there's just, I think that's all it is it's just time. And like, that's the thing, it's with everything. You know, you go to the gym, it takes time. You know, you get any handy job, you know, anything.
It's a long process, and you know, it's gonna be fun along the way, but it's gonna be really hard.
Yeah, like, you can't
to study everything that you need to reach a level of skill that you wanna, you know, that you aspire towards.
Yeah, and you also can't look at anybody else's journey and just copy that.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like, what they might lack, you might already have, and what they have, you might lack. You know, there's just your own art journey or journey in general for whatever career is yours alone. Like, learn from the people before you, obviously, but you definitely need to be able to adapt to figure out, like, what your shortcomings are. And, you know, things like even before I mentioned, and Ariel mentioned, like, for me, backgrounds were a weakness. Ariel said for him, colors were a weakness. All right, even for me, colors were a weakness. I think the part of, you know, anything creatively or even just in life in general is looking at that stuff, staring it in the face, being like, this is something I need to work on, and just working on it. And you got to do it in silent. You got to do it for you. You can't do it for the world. That's when you start getting your results, is when you're able to sit down and be like, I'm just going to hammer this out.
How do you feel about people wanting to be in the industry just for the money?
It makes our job a lot harder, for sure, because it makes it so much more saturated. But I think the world has a way of making that even out. You know, I think there are people who clearly do want it just for money, but they don't last very long.
Yeah. Okay. What about, like, artists that just want to do it for the money? Like, people...
Oh, people who do have the talent, but they're only doing it for money.
Yeah. I think that still applies, though, because it's like...
Yeah.
I personally feel like it eats at them.
It definitely will.
Because they'll keep going, but it's just like...
That's for the money.
Yeah, if that's not a passion...
Yeah.
If it's not a passion, you're the one suffering. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Nobody else is.
Yeah.
Because let's say I pay
even
you...
your art suffers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
let's say
exactly.
I pay you
You'll
for
just,
a
try
piece...
to rush through something, and then it kind of just fucks itself over
Exactly.
at the end.
Exactly. But let's say I pay you for a piece. So let's say, like, Ruffles, let's say you're a fucking high-end artist.
I'm the commissioner.
You're the commissioner. I guess. So I commission you for something. You're doing it just for money.
Yeah.
Like $100, I'll give you a pencil, like a pencil art, pencil sketch. So I give you $100, you give me a sketch. I still get what I paid for, but at the end of the day, you spent time doing something that you're not passionate about.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't really care. It's more I pity the person because, like, you're not doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
If they're successful, I think I'll be a little jealous, but not. You know, again, I think I'll get over it.
Yeah.
Why do you feel any, like, type of way?
No, because, like, I'll hear other artists kind of just bash people for doing it. I mean, like, for having
like,
that
passion.
type of, like, mindset about art,
Oh, okay.
you know. But I think it doesn't matter, you know. I think it's just, like, if people want to, you know, they want to, let's say someone's, like, passionate for it, but they really want money, you know. Why does it matter, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Why do you need to, like, bash them for it? It's not something that needs to be, you know.
I mean, we
like,
want money.
Yeah, you know.
I mean,
it
we
makes
all
sense.
need money.
Please give me money.
We need fucking money, you know.
Shit, I'll draw a lot more if I get paid a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's nonsensical sometimes. So, you know, just fucking if you're drawing, you know, like, if you're taking it seriously, you know, make sure like it's 100% your passion.
Yeah. Because then you suffer, and that's the big thing. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, like that, if you're gonna get anything, if you're gonna get anything from this whole conversation, you don't have to be an artist to have even listened to this whole thing. I think the big thing is, you know, we're talking about our passion, and I hope that, like, shows. And you could apply this to anything. Hell, fucking take out the word art or draw or any of this shit and just replace it with, like, tennis or something.
Yeah, anything that's
and
really
there you go. There's your fucking
yeah.
lesson, you know?
Yeah.
Just do what you fucking love, man. Like, that's what it is. Finding it's hard, though.
Oh, yeah. So, last question. Obviously, it ties in to the previous question, but what do you have to say to those future artists? Any advice?
Fucking quit.
Again, just give up already.
I know this is kind of rehashing the previous question.
No, it's a little bit more direct.
But I guess we could all three of us have something to say, because I have something to say to them.
So there you go. Do you want to lead us?
So I feel like, just like you guys said, just do it. You know, I mean, as me,
Nike.
Sponsor.
Nike
Minaj.
So when I was in college, my first major was art. I was doing graphic design. I loved it. I loved it so much. I was having fun doing it. And all these people telling me, art's never going to take you anywhere. And it really got to me. And I ended up switching my major to criminal justice. And I fucking hated it. And I ended up dropping out of college because of that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And it really fucked me up mentally and, obviously, where's my career going to go? I don't know what the fuck I want to do now. I feel like now that I'm with you guys, I feel, confident on what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I love doing this. I love being with my friends, doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like that should be applied to anything.
I 100% agree.
So,
I mean, as he just said, I think sometimes you have to ride the wave, sometimes you're going to be doing something you don't want to do. I mean, we all just said parts of our lives where there was something we weren't doing. Like, we weren't doing what we wanted to do. I think getting frustrated at that time isn't the best way to handle it. Obviously, you're allowed to. But I think knowing that as long as in the back of your mind you kind of know what you're looking for, it will happen. As mentioned before, Ruffles would always message us, or message me rather, to keep on with Joker, to keep doing these things. Hell, even when I first started the channel, we used to go to the gym together.
Yep.
And I would force him and our other friend to check it out, or at least know it's happening. And he was always supportive, and so there was always kind of that I always felt like it was something that you could be interested in doing. I mean, even when we were younger, we always wanted to do a YouTube channel, or even with Ariel and I made YouTube videos for how many years? Stupid one-off fucking comedy videos. Even on here, we have a video of a short film we did.
Oh yeah.
And I still think it's pretty fucking okay.
Talk about monotony.
Back to those people who support you. It's always good to have those people. Obviously, not everyone has that.
Not everyone does.
So it's always good to be... You're that person for yourself.
And I think that's how you should go about it, is if you can't support yourself, if you have other people, let them know that.
Yeah.
If you don't, steel your resolve, my dude. Grit your teeth, some other anime-ass statements. I don't know what else you can say.
Fix those glasses.
Fix
take bites out of chips and shit.
Unsheath that katana. And just really look yourself in the mirror and just be like, yeah, I have to be that support system. Hopefully that you're not, that's not the case. Even a friend online is a friend, is something I've learned. There's a lot of times where I gain strength from the comments that you guys leave. So even when my friends aren't able to really lift me up, I have random strangers who are just and I'm sure
Get
you
up and do your shit.
Yeah, who are exactly. And so I think that's kind of the importance of it, of just being able to know what you want to do, say what you want to do. Because if the world knows what you want to do, then people will support that. It'll echo.
Yeah.
Because if every day you're saying, I'm an artist, and then one day you're not, everyone will be like, yo, what happened? Because that's just life. So, yeah, what he said.
Just do it, man. Nike, man.
Nike. They got it. They got it right.
Let's say you're in the you're already 100% set with your passion for art, or anything for that matter. But I think in art especially, I would just mainly suggest to look at life, use that as an inspiration, things around you, your interests, study everything, read a few books.
Yeah.
Those are things that'll kind of just help you, think of ways to draw, or reasons to draw, or inspirations for your next piece. If you're reading a book or watching a movie, your brain kind of just freaks out, just oh shit, something new,
there's so
a
much.
new concept, or something that'll help me work on something that'll drive you forward. And that inspiration's everywhere in anything. You just gotta go out there and look for it, or just not even look for it, just let it,
keep an open mind.
Yeah, keep an open mind about it, and just let it just let it happen. Just let it fucking rest in your head, and then sooner or later, you know, it'll build itself up in your head, and then when the time comes, you know, you shouldn't feel pressured to draw something immediately.
Yeah.
Or even later, if you just do it whenever you think it's the right time to do it, and from there you'll start that process of like being more interested in what you're doing, and then you look at other people's stuff, and then you'll be like, oh, that's cool too, and you'll continue to learn, and it's just a cycle.
Yeah, it really is a cycle.
On. And as the cycle, you know, that cycle keeps like continuing, you'll have those roadblocks or whatever.
Roblox.
Those roadblocks. You'll have a lot of oof moments. So it's just
a lot of oof moments.
A lot of oof moments.
That's real, dude.
Yeah, man.
I agree with that.
But when those times come, you know, just don't leave art to the side for too long, or just don't let it like hit you too much. You have like people that support you. Like it doesn't matter like who you are, you'll always have like someone there that loves what you do and loves you, and they wanted to see you like be at your best.
Yeah.
So. And for those who don't, you know,
again, be that.
Our person. DMs are always open.
Honestly, you don't understand how much I answer shit.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter how many subs you think we have. Like, dog, it's not always popping in the DMs.
Because I mean, we've all been there where we feel like we don't have anyone.
Yeah.
So it's always good to reach out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the big thing to take away from this is, like, I gotta be careful the way I word this because this could be, like, bad. But you're not alone. You're not, like, unique in your suffering.
Yeah.
Your suffering is unique, but you're not unique in the fact that you suffer. You know, we all have these times and these moments where we're going through something that's not ideal. The road is long for all of us. Mm-hmm. We all live a really long life. Some of us don't. But for the people that do, it's a long life of not knowing what the fuck we're doing. You know?
R.I.P. Lil Peep.
R.I.P. Lil Peep. Yeah. I mean, that was someone who was like achieving their shit too. But I think the best way to look at it is just, if you have something you think you want to do and it's honestly a passion, do not give up on it unless you find a new passion that you are more passionate about. Okay? So if you love drawing and that's what you want to do for the future, do not give up on something else. Okay? I want the competition. Give me the smoke. I'll beat you.
I want all that smoke.
I want all that smoke. Give me all the smoke.
Try away.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think we summed it up pretty well. Just don't stop. It's so cliche, but it's like,
yeah, it feels kind of corny to say,
life
but
always
it's like
has
it's
those
really
moments, and you know, it's like I said, it's the universe trying to challenge you,
truly,
so you could become that.
You know, it took me years.
Person.
It took me years to believe something like that too.
Yeah.
But really, you will just find your footing, and you'll be like, yeah, I got this, and then life will just fuck you.
How close were you to giving up that one time?
Which one time?
The one
so many.
Like, because I was there when you were about to like.
When I applied, actually.
Yeah, when you
applied to Mercy College.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied
Shout out Mercy.
Shout out Mercy College.
Shout out college.
Shout out college. Shout out me when I applied to Mercy College. Yeah, so I was looking at the courses. I was already like emailing a guidance counselor. I was essentially in, and I had a nightmare. I'll never forget. It was such a real
You had
thing.
a nightmare about it?
I had a nightmare. My nightmare was that and by the way, the reason why accountant keeps coming up, I don't want to rat on I'm not trying to rag on accountants, but my family, I live in a family of accountants, so it's just the only other job I ever thought about besides mine, because again, I only ever wanted to be an artist. But yeah, so basically what happened was I applied. I was essentially set for the fall semester, and I had this nightmare where I was with Frank, and we were at a party, and pretty much everyone was there, and it was just a bunch of creators, and they were everyone was in the industry but me. I just happened to be there because I knew, it was my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else was an artist besides me, and I've always been the artist. In my whole life, it has always been that was all I was ever known for. You know, there's never anything else. I am nothing without my talent. And that's kind of it. Like that's what that was. And that's what stopped me from giving up. Was just that fear. It was so primal. It was so real. It was a fucking nightmare. So imagine how the next day I was like, oh, no more college.
No, man, I feel you on that one, because, I mean, for almost 2 years, I was literally shoveling shit as a porter.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was actually aiming to be a super for a building, you know, working as that, you know, working up towards that. And it just hit me once, and I was like, am I really going to be happy? You know, yeah, the benefits are good.
Dude,
Yeah.
The money's good.
That's real.
But it's like, do I really want to do that? And that's where I am right now.
And that's so real. I don't think you could have said it any better. There's those moments where you're like, you see another path.
And obviously right now, I am definitely not in the best position in my life financially. I'm literally taking out unemployment.
I actually feed him Fancy Feast.
Literally. That's all I could eat.
That is all he can eat.
It's almost dinner time, actually.
Yeah, it's not going to be good all the time, but it pays off as long as you continually work towards it, and that's something I've learned. And again, if anybody has the right to say that, it's me, because I have started so many things that have worked and then quit.
Preach.
You know, I again, you know, I did the webcomic. I haven't quit on the webcomic, but it was just something that I did really fast, and then I took such a long break. Commissions, I started and then quit. Joker.
That was like me with music.
You know? Exactly. And it's because passion hits like that. Mm-hmm. It's so hard. It's so hard.
For me, it's like one day I'm going to do it. I'm lit. Like, I have everything set. I'm going to do it. And then the next day, all of a sudden, the doubts come in. You know?
Yeah.
Those people who are going to say all that. And that's what actually ended up pushing me to change my major from art to criminal justice.
Yeah.
Never do that.
I mean, same, dude. That's why I started working, was because I looked
at
my family.
Me again with the porter shit.
Yeah. It's just those things where you look at life.
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe now's not the best time. But it is. Mm. There is no best time for it. One more piece of advice that I think some people should know is that, like, there is no perfect time. There is no good time. It's always going to be a bad time. Mm-hmm. The faster you start it is because it's going to take a long time to develop something. I wish I started Joker, 5 years ago, so that by now I'd be at 100,000 or something. I wish I didn't stop ever, because then I would have been where I am now previously.
Now you won't stop.
Now I won't stop.
And now this is on recording, so...
Exactly.
You are not going to stop.
You hear me. If you made it this far, then first off, wow, you're one of the reasons we do it. Yeah, though, it really just don't stop. That's art, dude. That's anything.
That's life.
That's life. Just don't stop. The moment you quit is the moment, like...
And that goes through with depression and everything, you know?
Yeah. It's okay to be depressed.
Yeah, everyone's depressed. I'm depressed. All
Fuck
three
it.
of us are depressed.
Fuck it, dude. I literally... Bro, you want to know how real depression is? I hit up Ruffles saying I'm depressed, and he was depressed. We were both in sync with our depression.
It was like a Siamese depression.
It was like when a bunch of girls are in a room and they're all on their period, because I only live with women.
It's like
so
that
they
episode
sync
of
up
SpongeBob
sometimes.
where like SpongeBob lifts up his shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And then
They're connected together.
They're connected.
That was disgusting. But yeah, basically that's what it is. So like, don't use your depression as an excuse to not get things done. That's, I think, the biggest thing. It's okay to feel depressed. 100%. And it is real.
And it's always good to have those vices.
Yeah.
And art is a perfectly good example as a vice.
Honestly. It really is. And I think that's real quick, bro. Me and Frank were talking about this, actually. And what we were trying to figure out was like, yo, you ever like... I mean, it's not really off topic, but... It's out of the interview mode for a second.
Have you ever nut, man?
Have you ever just fucking been depressed and you just nut? That shit's gone.
That's the best feeling.
It really is a good feeling. But no, so like...
I really took that seriously.
No, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. But like, have you ever... Like, I feel like when we handle... As a society, we handle depression completely wrong.
Yeah.
Because we try to chase happiness. Mm-hmm. And like, that's not the goal. Because you don't... you earn your happiness. You can't just want it when you're sad. You know what I mean? Like, so for instance, let's say you're depressed. What's the thing that comes to mind? You're like, I want things that make me happy. But I feel like that's the wrong way to look at it. Because that's not how happiness is achieved. Happiness is achieved through either just like little things in life.
Just like Dance Gavin Dance said, man, happiness is hard to find.
Dude, I can't even.
Shout out Kurt Travis.
Shout out Dance Gavin Dance. Shout out just
God,
list all the lead singers.
The instant you said Kurt Travis, I fucking like sang it in my head.
Same, dude.
Jesus Christ.
We saw Kurt Travis.
Yeah, that was dope.
Saw him live.
And as for vices, people also have music. Music is a huge vice for me, and
Yeah.
it's helped me through a fuckload. And if we ever have meet and greets and I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt, you're gonna see my arm is absolutely covered in musical influenced tattoos. And
Yeah.
That's honestly saved my life. I know people always like, oh, it saved your life, blah blah blah, but
it's real.
It really did.
I've seen
You've seen me go through that, and
it's very real.
How does music help you, Joe?
Shit, dude.
It's
good background noise to cut myself too. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, music helps me.
And what's also amazing is that almost all these artists are dealing with the same thing.
Without a doubt.
And that's how I always go back to Lil Peep, and Joe always knows him. He's probably sick and tired of hearing it.
No, I'm not.
But
I love hearing you talk about him.
When I was 2 years ago, I was in a really bad slump in my life, and I found his music, and just like everything he said was like, damn, that's how I feel, and I honestly felt connected to him.
Yeah.
And it was truly an amazing thing. Like I was connected to someone I don't even know. Yeah. He doesn't even know my fucking name.
That's how I feel about Joji.
Like, I love he's another one. He's like, he did something he wanted to do, and he did it, and he's number 3 on the fucking billboards.
Yeah.
Like that, I was
crazy.
like, I am so happy.
You know what's fucking weird for me? Like, music doesn't help me at all. I'll love listening to music, but whenever I have like a really fucking intense moment of just pure, just like sadness, it doesn't help me in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
I
What helps you?
Nothing.
I feel like you're dead. I feel like
literally.
you're dead the type to tank through it.
Yeah, because I don't really use anything as like to help me. Like, I don't use art to help me sometimes. Like, I'll draw, but it doesn't do anything for me. Like, it doesn't help it. Like, I mean, I'll be satisfied at the end of like what I'm drawing, but it's not like it's very like solitary for me for depression. It's just like nothing really helps it. It kind of just like passes by.
Yeah. Well, because depression's like a wave.
Yeah, exactly.
You let it
like,
hit you.
It'll hit me, and then and it kind of just goes on.
I do think you should find something.
In time, things heal, and that is definitely 100% true. Yeah. Like, you're gonna you're probably it's funny because Lil Peep said it in his last interview. It was like, time heals everything, and whether it's tomorrow, next month, next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, everything is, at one point, it's going to be better for you.
Yeah.
And that's for those who are dealing with a lot of stuff. And having people there for you are perfect. Shout out to Megan, my fiance.
Shout out to Megan. Shout out.
But I know she's definitely...
Started it again.
Yeah.
I know she's definitely listening to it. And, she's been there for me a lot when I only had like $2 in my pocket. And,
So now?
Yeah.
Because, dude, same. Same.
But I seriously, it's a great feeling to have someone like that. And, obviously in relationships, you have the ups and downs and everything, but it's an amazing thing to have someone there for you.
I think that's what I'm dying for. Like, for someone like that, like just being in a relationship like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember we'd go out on dates, and I didn't even have like money to pay for food, and we had to go to someplace really cheap. Mm-hmm. And she was like, she wasn't judgmental, like, and she never is now. And it's like
I mean, I told you the first time.
She's a beautiful person.
The first time we hung out, I told you, like, you two.
Oh my god!
I know.
Oh my fucking god! That's so cute.
I hate getting all sappy.
No, but it's real.
So
like,
cute.
I told Frank, and I told him, I was like, the only couple I could compare them to is like Noah and Carmen. Shout out to Noah and Carmen. In terms of
Carmen
like. And shout out to Carmen. Fuck Noah, take back that. No, but I mean, like, in terms of like, because like, friends have relationships, and you're like, all right, whatever. Yeah. But like, I don't see you two I don't see. It's not you and your girlfriend.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
She's my fucking homie, bro.
Legitimately, you two can come anytime. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, we're
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
And what's awesome
I
is
don't
that-
feel like a third wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you don't
exactly.
feel
I
like-
didn't
that's
feel
a
that at
beautiful
all.
thing
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like
That's real. That's a relationship.
She, how you say? She encourages me to. She's actually encouraged me to come here today.
Yeah.
Which
is
Oh,
why.
dope, yeah.
Which is
Like,
why.
and she loves my friends, and she likes to hang out with my friends. That's the reason why. Like when she was with me, and she was like, "Oh, let's all hang out," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Yeah.
Like I'm 100% down, and I'm glad you guys met her.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking glad too.
I mean,
Yeah, she's a great
really
person.
cool.
Legitimately, hanging out with you two was so fucking like
Yeah,
actually
and-
fun.
It was Phil, Joe, and I, and my lovely fiance, and we went to just Wingstop.
Yeah, legit. Just
Wow.
And-
right by my house. No invite.
I said that too. I was like, let's not invite Ariel. Did you think I was gonna say? I said that. Let's invite Ariel.
And we had just such a great time, all four of us.
Yeah.
And then Phil obviously I think he had work the next day, so he had to leave.
Yeah, he couldn't be.
So
out
he
too
dropped us off at my fiance's dorm, and all
We-
three we just sat there
till
and
4
just,
in the morning.
Yeah,
and it
till
was
4 in the
it-
morning.
It didn't even feel like that.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
We were just talking, like, whether it was life, our relationship, things that's going on with Joe, the channel, everything.
It was
just,
honestly like just.
it was
a good
such
time.
a great talk.
Yeah, and I think that's what I mean when I say, the people in my life right now and the people that I'm trying to, like I'm putting effort into keeping in are the people that I want to be around me when I make it, and I think that's the best way to say it is like, you guys, if I make it, like, you guys are coming with me, like that's it. I don't think anybody else that's around me or has been in my life I'm going to give much time to, not because I resent them or I hate them. I still, I have my high school friends and I have my middle school friends and I have my elementary school friends, and there's no hate towards any of them. But if we did disconnect and neither of us made an effort to reconnect, it's just
what it is.
it's just what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm
Definitely
not
hold on to those who stick.
if
or
someone
who even comes
forces
Yeah,
them.
yeah, honestly, coming around too, that's
like,
important as well.
Even if they come out of nowhere, like I know
Yeah.
me and Joe have had our, he's
Just
had
moments where we're
yeah,
just not really.
you're doing your own thing. We haven't been
Yeah.
super close at one point, but dealing with what I've been through, I want to be there for people. That is what makes me happy.
Yeah.
That's my cure for depression.
And it literally is. I see it in you.
Yeah, and I want to help people, and even for those who are dealing with shit, fucking hit me up. Let's talk.
Literally, he will.
And I will.
He will talk to you.
I've been through shitty things, man.
Yeah.
And my friends, Megan, they've all helped me. Music, I want to be there for people.
And I think you will be, and that's why giving you that platform and like you resurrecting Joker with me and like now finally having an audience, because I mean you see it, like the audience, they recognize you, they look up to you. That's where you're at now. You have people who legitimately,
Even though I barely talk and I don't show my face.
yeah, but then you're in one episode and
And all of a sudden
suddenly
they love me.
fucking replace Joe. But that's what it is. I think they could sense you're genuine. You're here for it. And honestly, I never ask people to be on Joker who aren't genuine in terms of like, don't get me wrong, we joke around about a lot of shit. Again, the last podcast is probably the worst thing to judge us
off.
to judge us off of.
Yeah.
But that this second podcast is proof that like,
This is that heart to heart podcast.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
the real one. Like this is who we really are. And all of my
This
friends.
ain't Joker. This is Joseph.
This is Joseph. I mean, for real. That should be the name of the video. No, but
Just Joseph Asterisk.
so deep. Yeah, but like all of my friends, we have talks like this pretty frequently. Like we can balance that stuff. And again, I think it's just because we all need to make sure that we're all at our best and we all detox through like just talking the bad shit out, which allows us to give our passions those times to shine. And sometimes what you're going through is something that does need to be shouted out loud. And people do honestly care and don't feel like it's a burden on people just for you to tell your problems.
Another thing is don't be afraid to be alone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
You can't fear solace, because
yeah.
when you are isolated, it'll become
As
hell.
an only child, how do you deal with it?
I don't.
I mean, I'm an only child as well.
I don't think.
We're all only children?
Yeah.
man.
Oh shit.
But now
But now we are.
We're all
we
alone
are
together.
one. We all fucking fuse.
Wonder triple power up.
Dude, that would suck because we would all become one person, so that one person would then be alone.
Yeah.
He's just
Jesus.
like, fuck.
Shit,
And then,
dude.
like all three of our voices layered. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, being an only child was always tough for me.
I think it's tough.
I feel like I was always
Yes.
fucking late to everything because like
Yeah, I get that.
No one I
No one
don't get
helped
my
you.
shit from anyone. I have to like dig everywhere online. For
100%, yeah. Especially like I was only raised by women, so that
To
was
be
it.
honest,
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
To
I
be
mean, yeah,
honest,
and I learned that about you recently
yeah,
too.
I was raised by my mom, my godmother, and my uncle, who is homosexual. I love him. He is my nigga. I could say nigga.
He can
because
say it, okay?
I can say it.
but yeah,
Oh shit! Ruffles confirmed white.
Ruffles confirmed white.
Hashtag.
No, they know he's a stupid spit.
Hispanic.
Hashtag.
Very Spanish.
Hashtag Ruffles is over.
No, they know, dude. You're from Yonkers. You can say whatever the
But
fuck you want.
like, he's my rock, and you know, I love him. He's always been supporting me, even though I am currently unemployed and I'm doing this shit.
Yeah.
You know, he's still there for me. You know,
Which
And
I'm really glad. I'm really
That's
glad.
honestly a beautiful thing to do.
100%.
To have, you know.
Yeah.
A family member that you know.
Same with my family. As much as they need the help,
Yeah.
they're willing to stick it out for a little bit. And
I don't really have family.
Well-
like they're all like
No, dude, I feel you. All I have is my uncle.
all I have is like my mom and dad. But even then, it's just
Yeah.
like I mean the rest of my family's in Honduras, but I
Yeah,
Kinda
I'm not a
just-
family orientated person.
yeah
same. I mean,
So-
I love my immediate family, but
Yeah.
yeah
as far as outside of that,
yeah.
Yeah, same.
I'm more, I'm more akin to speaking with you guys than I am my family.
To be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we don't love our family. We do love.
I mean,
I think again that's
I
just.
don't.
well, no, I mean immediate family. So
Yeah.
like your uncle or
Yeah,
you know.
that's all I have.
Yeah.
I'm a lonely boy.
Yeah, I mean, but being an only child, I think it makes you a certain person. I think the three of us have similarities in certain aspects.
We all have glasses.
We all have glasses. We all have hats.
Ruffles hashtag confirmed that he has glasses.
We all have hats. Yeah,
We
right.
all have hats now.
We all have hats. No, but like I mean, with our attitude, I think we're all prone to being liked because we force ourselves to be. I feel
mean, also as an only child and what I've been through, I was kind of forced to grow up.
yeah.
Yeah, there's mad pressure on you just to fucking
Yeah,
Make
I mean, not only
'cause you're
me,
the only
but
fucking
not
child.
only me, it's also as an only child. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, yeah, but even your
even
circumstances
my
in general.
situation is totally
Yeah.
different. I don't know if I want to get into detail with that.
No, that
No,
could
no.
be
Anytime
that could
soon,
be
but-
whenever you're
Whenever you want
comfortable.
it.
But
I don't know if Ariel knows about it, but I'll let him know after the podcast.
yeah,
But yeah, it definitely forced me to grow up at a very, very young age.
Yeah.
Like 13, 14, and you know, that definitely molded me into the person I am. And you know, like I said, I want to help people.
fuck, dude, I got to see that.
Yeah,
I
dude.
literally
You really
saw.
did.
Because I mean, it was what 1 year later, 2 years,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's like I saw you, and I think that's why I'm so proud of you a lot of the times because like you really became someone. Out. I mean, I always thought you were cool. Obviously, we hung out all the time, but
Oh my God, he's sucking my dick.
so. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I genuinely take pride in my friends. Like, I think I choose my friends, and I think I chose them well.
Well, we didn't
know?
choose you.
I know you didn't. I literally forced
I
myself.
don't want you in my life.
I literally, both of
You're
you,
just
I
mad
literally
annoying.
forced myself into. He
No,
thought
it's
I was
the
like
other
a
way.
fucking loser, dude. No,
No,
I'm
it's
talking
the
about. I'm talking about when we first met.
No.
You
When
and
we
Patrick didn't even want to talk to me.
No, I wanted to talk to you.
Oh,
I
well,
was
Patrick
like,
raped me.
no, you literally.
I literally got raped by a kid on our bus.
I couldn't
he
do
was
anything.
fingering me,
He was too
basically.
strong, bro. I couldn't.
No, he wasn't. You were all laughing at me.
He was. He was.
It was a terrible thing. Even our bus monitor didn't do anything. She watched it
she
happen.
was there. She was just like.
So wait, what the fuck happened?
I don't know. He snapped.
You guys were just joking or something, and I was just sitting down on the other side of the fucking bus.
Fucking pushed me up against the bus window and snuck his hands under my shirt. And he's just trying to fuck me. And everyone's like, that's so funny. And I'm like, stop it. He's dead touching me. I'm getting molested. And nobody stopped it.
It's just not, it's not funny. But
no, it's not.
It's just the fact that I was there and I was
you were right across.
Bro, I was literally holding my DS and I was like, oh fuck.
And it didn't help too because I'm ticklish.
Oh shit, that's happening.
Yeah.
It didn't help.
I was playing my DS with Kevin and
wow.
That
makes it so much worse.
Oh fuck,
That's unfortunate.
Dude, I'm I'm mad ticklish. So
you,
he's touching me and I'm laughing. So everyone thinks I'm cool with it. And it's no, help me. Yeah. Shout out to Patrick.
Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, I was
shout out to Pokemon.
Shout out to Nintendo.
Shout out to
Nintendo,
bro.
Nintendo.
Fucking bringing the heat.
Providing the excellent
that's how we became friends, really.
Oh yeah.
It was DS. We used to play Guitar Hero. We used to talk about Mind Freak. Well, really, you used to tell me about Mind Freak.
And then I would ask you about Cerebi every fucking day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You'd be like, anything new? Yeah.
Oh, ew, I was that guy.
You were that guy. And then in high school, we re-met up.
How did that even happen?
You were in my Spanish class.
No, but what even started the conversation?
No idea. I think I just saw you and I was like, Ariel?
Yeah.
And we just kind of, but
we had some coffee and some newspaper in the middle of fucking Spanish class, just
legit. That was basically us.
How's your life going? You know,
we
having the same deep,
grade, having 14 years old.
Yeah, just having the same deep conversation.
we have
in
a
the
pipe.
We're Spanish class.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. I feel like I don't know. I feel like our personalities are very similar in that sense. I mean, even even the hobbies we have, the things we like. You know, I don't know. I think we all turned out very similar.
I'm still a mess.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, still,
very similar. So yeah, if you're a mess, just look at us. You're watching us right now.
Message us.
Or message.
Mess. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
get drunk with me, man.
You're the type. You're the type to get drunk with our fans.
Yeah, I would too. Honestly.
Yeah, I believe that. Shit, I'm down.
So
all you 14-year-olds, come on and drink.
Let's all drink and get high, man.
Yeah, fucking dead.
Saw, dude.
Yeah, man.
I saw it.
I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think we
that
covered art. We covered fucking depression.
Podcast. Let me think if I have any other questions about art. No, I do not.
No, I do not. No, you do not.
And I think I'm good.
Right, dope.
You did a fucking great job moderating that shit.
That's a New York dab.
So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys liked it. I know it's very different from the previous one. Most of them are going to be like the previous one, but this was just honestly, I think a good fucking speech. Spot.
A nice spick.
Little spickle.
Little spook.
A little spickle.
Little spike. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any topics that you'd like us to cover, you guys commented. I can't promise we will, because we do go off topic so heavily. But
definitely story times. We're gonna be
we're gonna have a lot of stories.
We're gonna be trying to hang out more and have our lovely adventures be documented.
Yeah,
in this lovely podcast.
Look forward to that. There are gonna be some times where it gets like this. So if you did like this, keep on watching.
Oh damn, I did think of something, but
not after the outro.
Yeah, the outro's happening.
God
right.
damn it!
So next time you'll hear the story.
So tune in next time
when Ariel finally fucking includes his bit.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Love you all, and goodbye. I hate you.
And that's it.
Face like a squirter, nut at her face like a squirter, yeah.